So basically, hello everyone. We are live with Aisha Scrum Tech doing Scrum Master interview question and answers. So you also can participate just by putting in the comments down below. But look, I'm talking to myself. No one is here. All right. So the question is, why should we hire you? Right? I think that's what you were saying. Not why do you think?
Why should we hire you?
It's funny how you said, why should we hire you? I actually answered this question on YouTube. Why should we hire you? One of my YouTube interview self-question and self-answer. I asked, why should we hire you? So if you are asked, so why, first of all, let's do our regular analysis that we do with interview, right? What are the three things we do? Let me see if you guys remember. I know it's been a week now.
Let's see, you guys saw that the main word.
Yeah, the keyword, right?
Keyword.
The number one thing, if you are given a question, like especially us in class, we want to learn how to master this question, so hopefully we can be able to answer the right answer for the particular question. So number one is to know the keyword, right? And number two is to do what? Come up with the analysis, put different scenario, different assumption, why that question was asked in an interview, right? And number three, how would you answer this in an interview? We did Scrum Master interview question and answer, by the way, for anyone. You can also go to the chat and also add anything if needed. So if you are asked, why should we hire you? What is the key word in that question? Why should we hire you? What is the key word?
Why should we hire you? Why?
That one is so short, right? That basically is it's not like once how they'll give you different scenario question where they will have, walk me through your day-to-day life as a Scrum Master, or walk me through what you will do, or when they give you that's like a lot of steps, right? But when someone asks you an interview question directly, why should we hire you? That's what's the keyword there actually though? If you're looking for keyword, what is it? Hire you.
Hire you. Yeah.
Hire you. Simple. The keyword in that case is hire you. So what are some reasons why an interviewer will ask you, why should we hire you? And by the way, this question is not just only for Scrum Master. They can go for any job you will attend the interview. They might ask, why should we select you over other candidates? Like, why should you be selected? So why do you think they're even asking you this to begin with? You guys can go on the chat and also write your answers on the chat, by the way. So we were doing interview question and answer.
So
Ramadan Kareem.
So probably the person who they had prior, the performer, the person did not meet up with the performance.
Don't even think about the last person, right? So think about your own self, right? So if you're asking you, why should we hire you? What are they doing? What is that interviewer doing?
For your qualities as a Scrum Master.
Yeah, that's very good. They're looking for your qualities, and basically you getting the platform. Go ahead.
Nobody was hearing me. And to know what you are bringing to their company.
Yes. What are you bringing to that company? Like, what are you bringing to that company for them to see, oh, maybe we should hire you over the other people because you have all this specialized quality. And why is that question such a difficult question? Because to be honest, why should we hire you? It's such a simple question, but if you think about it, it's such a difficult answer because you have to ensure that you do what? What do you have to ensure you do? People that are online. Sell yourself, right? Sell yourself to these people. Because they're trying to buy your skill set, they're trying to buy your experience, they're trying to buy your knowledge, they're trying to buy the kind of person you are and ensure that you're going to be a good fit for the company. So if you are asked, why should we hire you? How would you answer this in an interview? And you also can post it on the comments down below so I can read it out. So how would you answer this in an interview if you are asked, why should we hire you? Anyone want to go first?
Like my expertise aligns with your requirements.
All right. But you have to say it with passion, right? Because when you are asked that interview question, that might be maybe at the end of the interview, right? Sometimes they might ask you that at the end of the interview, where they want to give you that last 1 or 2 minutes to convince them that you would be a better choice than any other thing. And if I'm asked that question, why should we hire you? That will take me back to my elevator pitch, right? Because in the first couple of minutes, I want to impress this interviewer. And at the end, what will I try to do? Leave a lasting impression. So I'll say things that they'll remember me from what I said. And I'm going to be highlighting my positive traits, right? My strengths. So if you're asked, why should we hire you? You'll be like, you get that's not the time you're going to be start reading out your resume or what you already have in your resume, because they can already see that. I will say something that's not in my resume. I will say something that will make me stand out over others. So how would any of you answer this in an interview if you are asked, why should we hire you? So basically, if you're answering this, why should we hire you? I would say, I should be given this opportunity and I believe I am worthy of this position. After through all of our conversation throughout this interview, I feel like this is going to be a very good space for me to bring my knowledge and my experience to deliver value for the overall company. I am a very fast learner. I adapt very well to change, and I also meet teams at where they are. I work collaboratively with my leadership, with my manager and my stakeholder, and I also ensure that aligns with the company's value, mission, and the overall goal beyond looking at my team. So overall, by me doing that, I was very, very successful in working in company A, where I also use my skill set to able to help improve value, minimize waste, and increase customer satisfaction. I believe I'm going to be a very well fit for this position, right? So you can say all those things, and if it's at the end of the interview they ask you, don't forget to highlight and just summarize and not repeat yourself. Oh, given the fact what we've already discussed throughout this interview, I love already your company. I see myself working in this company. You can even maybe, hopefully, you already remember the mission too, right? That's why I said in the beginning, you always have to know the company's mission and vision. I've also, my due diligence, my due research, I've also seen the company is this. Oh, and I've seen you said you've worked in this company for 20 years. Oh, I want to be in that space. That alone is telling me that it's a very good space and good environment for me to work at. By you even calling that out, like connecting those people you are talking to by what they've already told you, it shows that you have a very good listening skills, right? Because you can at least listen, already understand that, oh, these people have this experience, right? Because they will tell you about themselves when you go to interview. They will always tell you about themselves, you know. And if they mention about being there for years, sometimes people always will boast that. They will always tell you, oh, I've been here for 15 years. I've been here for 20 years. Or given the fact that, oh, I see Zach have been here for 20 years. That alone tells me that this is such a wonderful company for me to be at. And to be a huge privilege for me to join you all and work like for the next 20 years too with this company. And by you saying that, they already see that, oh, you've already inserted yourself with these people. And at the same time, you had that good listening skills that you connected their personal experience to your own potential experience you might get with this company. And that will set you apart from other people. That will set you apart from other people. So the people are like, oh, how can I set myself different from other people? How can I set myself apart from other people? is by you connecting with the interviewers. And don't just see interview as an exam where you have to go and answer question and answer, enter the exam, or what would these people say? But if you change your mindset as I'm coming to this interviewer, they're getting to know me, and as much I'm getting to know them. If someone in the interview says something that's good, tell them, because sometimes they will tell you too. Remember, I know I've been to an interview, they will tell me, oh, whenever you see me look this way, know that I'm looking at my computer. Oh, also I'll be taking notes. I'll be jotting notes. They will tell you that. Did any of you ever entered an interview and they told you that? That I'll be taking notes? I've done that a lot of time. I already attended a lot of interviews. They will tell me that. So guess what? They used to tell them the same thing. Like, oh, by the way, in case you see me looking that too, I also have my pen and paper. I'll be taking notes. They won't tell you no, don't take notes. They will say, oh, you can do that. You can take notes, right? You see someone happy saying yes. They say, yeah, you can take notes. So like someone said, oh, I've been here 20 years. I'm writing that, oh, J, 20 years. Even their initial, they just write, oh, that one says 20 years. So later on, at the end, if they ask you, even sometimes you can ask them like question like, oh, Zach, you say you've worked for this company for the past 20 years. Tell me what kept you in this company for so long. What is so good about this company? I would like to learn more. Sometimes by you just asking that personal question, that can bring that connection with you, with that person. And that will encourage these people to see that, oh, this is the only person that asked me about that question. She was the only person that asked me that. And they will not forget you. So whenever you are asked, why should we hire you? Don't just go by your resume or summarize your background, summarize your education. You have to bring something unique. And whenever someone asks me at the end of the interview, I will ensure that I incorporate what was said throughout the duration of the interview. So that will get these people to know that, oh, she actually listened. And that will set me apart from others. Anyone have any question around that? Why should we hire you? Question? Hi, how are you, Karen? All right. So what is the next interview question? People too online, if you have any question, you can type it on the chat below. We can discuss your question. Anyone have any other questions, suggestion, agree, disagree? Any more question?
Yes, on the chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the chat.
Oh, on the chat. Oh, look at me. I'm here looking down there. So where is this question? Oh, I love this one. So this question is, in the middle of the sprint, this is actually how many paragraph? 3 paragraph. This is a long one, right? And you will get this type of questions too. In the middle of the sprint, a client sent an emergency request that is of the highest priority for the team. What are some strategies you will use to ensure that the sprint stay on track? This is a very good question. In the middle of the sprint, a client sent an emergency request. What is the highest priority of them to ensure that some strategy will be used to ensure that you keep the sprint goal? That's what this means. So what is the key word in this scenario? Question. What is the key word? You're talking on mute. If some of you were talking on mute. So what is the keyword?
Emergency request.
Emergency request? Okay. I don't see emergency request as the keyword in
Priority.
project priority. Is that written there? I don't think I see any project priority. What is the keyword? This is a little tricky one for the keyword.
Strategy.
Huh?
Strategy.
Some strategy, right? Those are the things you're gonna be doing. But what is the true keyword in this question? You can tell that it's very important and very priority to them, as they told you that in the question.
Highest priority.
Sprint on track. Keeping the sprint on track. Like they want all of these things and they know you've already started the sprint. You can't just end the sprint because something came in. So they want to ensure that you have some kind of technique to keep the sprint on track. You see, right? So what are some strategy you would use to ensure that you keep the sprint on track? So the sprint being on track, that's the key word for this question. Do you guys all see that? Do anyone understand that or you have question? Because all what you're going to be doing is to ensure that you are able to keep the sprint on track. So why would they ask you this in an interview? Why would you go to a Scrum Master interview and they will ask you about what? In another word, what is this? If it what is the actual terminology for this in the Agile? What is the terminology? In the middle of the sprint, a client send an emergency request that is of the highest priority for them. What are some Scope
creep.
Scope creep, yeah? Scope change, scope creep. Oh, I think your audio is not good, Umo. Yeah, I think your audio is not good. You've been saying it. I feel like you've been screaming it and we can't hear. Yeah, it's scope creep. This is definitely talking about scope creep. And all at the end of the day, even when we have a scope creep, what are we trying to do in scope creep? It's to keep the sprint on track. So that's why that's the keyword. Because the keyword, you just see it as the North Star, the heart of it all. Just like how we have our heart, without our heart, we can't even breathe. So it's the same thing how you see a keyword. Because sometimes when you go to an interview, they give you a long paragraph or interview question, just like this one. In the middle of the sprint, a client sent an emergency request that is of the highest priority. What are some strategies you would do to keep the sprint on track? So why would they ask you this in an interview? Why would they ask you this? What are some different assumptions you all can come around with this? Why would they ask you this?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
I think they want to know how good a communicator you are and how proactive you are in situations like that and how you can actually manage change.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good. How you respond to change, right? And how can you collaborate and communicate and negotiate with the Scrum Master, with the product owner, the team members, right? Because the stakeholders are the one bringing this in. So that's where the communication comes in place, right? And how of a good product problem solver you are as a Scrum Master. So all of these are very good reasons why they might ask you this in interview. How you can adapt, right? Well, I also say how you can adapt. That is true. How you can adapt to all these changes, right? Because sometimes we always sing about it in the Agile Manifesto, right? Which of the principles said that adapt to change? Which one? Anyone? Let me see how you gonna remember your.
Welcoming change and the method of sprint.
How did this word it? You are just throwing in one. How did the Agile Manifesto say? Scrum pillars? No. Scrum pillars is talking about the inspect.
Manifesto.
Yeah, the Agile Manifesto is different from the Scrum Guide. The Agile Manifesto is the heart of it all, right? Respond to change over following a plan. Yeah, that is the exact word we have. It says that's basically value, agile value, the fourth one. right? We have individuals and interaction over processes and tools. Working software over
comprehensive documentation.
working software over what?
Working software over, I thought it's over comprehensive documentation.
You guys can Google it, okay. Working software over.
Comprehensive documentation.
Oh, you are right, Walter. Comprehensive documentation. And customer collaboration.
Over contract negotiation.
Over contract. And responding to change. Over following a plan. Yep. So you are right, Walter. Myself, I have to check myself. So that is the agile values, right? Yeah, welcome change even late in development. That's part of the 12 principles for sure. Yep. So we want to know how you are flexible and respond to additional requirements. Shield the team from distraction and keep the team focused and committed. That is so true. The shielding the team for sure. That's also very important. And also getting them, eliminating outside distraction. That's another thing that we do as a Scrum Masters, right? That was a very good point there that you put on, Jackie, I think. So how would you now answer this in an interview? If you go to an interview, you're asked, a stakeholder came in with a high priority, already in the middle of the sprint, and then they told you that this is the very highest priority. What are some strategies you can do as a Scrum Master to ensure that you still meet your sprint goal? What are some things you can do? And how would you answer this in an interview? How would you answer this? So what technique would you use for this? What technique? Let me see people online so you know. What technique would you use for such a big question? Star approach. Maybe you guys can see the star approach. That's what you use for this. Which is the S stand for what? Situation. The T stand for what? Task. The A stand for? Action. The R stand for? Or recommendation. Yeah. So that's the approach you use for such a scenario question. Because whenever you say they start saying, tell me about when you're in such a situation, they start giving you all these different scenario question, then that should tell you that you also should give a scenario answer. Right? Sometimes you can answer the question simple and direct, and then also you can give scenario. Nothing wrong with that too. Right? But then in this case, if you're using a scenario, you always have to use the star approach. Given the situation, the task, and the action you took, and the results from the action you did. That's very, very important. And that result, that's what seals the deal. Because sometimes I see you all give scenario, and when you get to the results, you all just relax. Like, okay, that's what I did. No, that's not what you did. But what was the impact from the action you took? What was the impact? So that impact, you have to talk about it and explain it. And based on that, because why is that? Why do company always care about the results from the action you took? Why would they care about that? Because the situation you did in the last company might be similar situation in their job, but the way how you address it, that's what they care about. Because that's exactly how you will address it too when you go to their job. Situation, task, and action and results. Yep, you're right. My Joseph, you're right. So, right? So that's why it's important. So who would like to answer this question? All of you online too, you can type your answer. How would you answer this? Anyone would like to answer this question? We have a lot of questions to go through and our time is already running out. Anyone want to answer this question? No one want to answer this question? Ah, is it because it's Saturday afternoon? Are you guys still sleeping? I have to wake you all up. Even me that I'm fasting, I have more energy than you all. So I have to wake you guys up. It's Saturday. Yeah, this one say JP said meet the PO, assess the urgency of the work, and look at the business value. That is true. Actually, if someone asks you about that, you can actually directly answer that. There's nothing wrong with that. You need to ask the PO some question. What is the urgency? Yep. What is the priority task does? Yep. Those are all true. What is the urgency? What is the priority? And the primary, you need, why is not showing me all this question? Priority, does it align with the current sprint goal and all of that? Yeah. So sometimes they might bring in scope change and it might not align with the sprint goal. But it's still important to that. What are some examples of those high priority issue or high scope change that might come in the middle of the sprint and has no relation to the sprint goal? What are some example work of that? Let me see if you guys remember. What are some examples of that whereby you've already planned for your sprint, halfway through your sprint, and then the product owner or any of the stakeholders will come in and say that, oh, this is important, you have to work on this right away. What are some examples of those issues, potential issues that you might see? And that particular issue have no relation to sprint goal. What is that? It's very common. Maintenance work? No, not really. Not maintenance work. Maintenance work.
Security.
It can be security from what?
Security to protect security for the customers.
That can be one. Definitely security. Bug, defect. It depends on the defect. What is the impact? That's one that you can assess and discuss. Production issue, right? Those production issues after release. This production issue can be one of those that might have no relation to your sprint goal, and that comes in its emergency. The team have to leave what they're doing and fix it right away so it won't have some kind of impact to the end users or to the customers. So production issue is very common. It's one of those that sometimes we force team to basically leave their planned work and work on that. And it's very, very common at work. So production issues, that's one. Maintenance work, it depends, right? If you say maintenance, if they get they have different level of their maintenance kind of work. They have different S1, S2, S3 level. So based on that will determine if they should address it right away or they can prioritize it for later. But you're right. Anyone that said that you have to first have a discussion, that is true. Whenever you have any breaking work or any scope creep or potential scope creep, or someone tell you it's a high priority work, you will always start with conversation, right? And you bring it to the team. The PO, hopefully the PO or those people will just put it in the sprint and start asking who's going to work on it. That's an anti-pattern, right? We don't want that either. But instead, hopefully your PO or that stakeholder or whoever, they'll first bring it to you or to the team. Not only you, the Scrum Master, they can also go directly to the team and you all can have conversation, right? Because why should you have that conversation? Why should you do that? You all have to discuss. So first of all, you can know how truly high priority it is. Because sometimes they will come in everything, they're like, oh, it's high priority, They're like, everything is high priority. So through our discussion, we can truly know if it's truly a high priority or if something that can wait for later. Yeah, alignment, right? You're right. Definitely align with the work, which also will prompt the discussion of, is this story really, really high priority? Or is it something that we can wait for later? Oh, let's look at our overall current sprint backlog. Do we have actually more important high priority that we must work on? Or a release that we must release before this week? Or it might impact so and so, right? So you have to have that question, know if it's truly, truly a priority. Next thing is the impact to the business or the impact to the end users, right? Right? People say that like, oh, I'm worried about my velocity, my sprint reports being going all over the place. No, 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 no. That's not. It's not about you. It's not about you, the Scrum Master. If your data is messed up, if your issues or your numbers are not right, it's not about that, right? It's always about the people and the business and the impact towards the users, and you look at all of that. And number three, then, of course, cost of delay. If we didn't work on it right now, what will be the cost to the business, right? It's going to be like a lot of expenses, and it's going to be issues with all of that. And through that discussion, you will know. And also, do we have availability of someone that can actually fix the work, right? So what can we remove from this person's plate and give them this instead? All these different conversation can happen. Make sure you're on the capacity to take the work. Yeah, someone that can take the work, definitely, right? So that you have that conversation and so who can basically can deprioritize one of the tasks they are working and now prioritize this important work. Also, another last one thing the team have to do before they put it in the sprint. That's why they must have the conversation is, let me see if someone will get it. What is one more thing? Eh?
Reprioritize.
We've already discussed reprioritize, like because that person that's going to be taking the task all agree. Yeah, by doing what? How would they agree? What would they do before they agree? Estimate, Michael, you're right. Estimate. Then the team have to estimate. So that's why you have to come together, discuss, have all these conversations. If everyone aligns, they understand, look at the stories, look at the acceptance criteria, ask questions, right, to the PO. Hopefully people that already have some kind of experience in it, help answer some of those questions, align and enlighten the team, and then you estimate the story before you put that story to the sprint backlog, right? That's very important because even if the scope change, you can just add it to the sprint without estimating it, right? You have to estimate it. Because if not, if you add it to your board, like on Jira, it will just show the little dots that you added to the sprint, but the line will not go up because the number was not added. So you need that data. So at the end, if they start complaining that, oh, this team, they always commit to stuff in the beginning of the sprint and at the end, they don't meet their goals. Because sometimes you see stakeholders will complain. Oh, team will always ask, they always plan for sprints, they have their sprint goal, and at the end of the sprint, they don't complete their work. And that's when you, the Scrum Masters, and you shield your team. You're like, okay, let me tell you, let me show you guys. Then you bring the data. Let me show you some of the reasons why we didn't meet our sprint goal in the last 2 sprints. Looking at our data, we added up to, after the sprint already started, we had our PO came in with, almost 20 story points more that it's of a higher priority. We had this production issue that happened, we had to help. And my team is more knowledgeable, we had to support the other team because they were blocked. So all of this now became more of a higher priority and we completed those over our planned work. So that's why we were unable to meet our sprint goal. And I'll go even extra to even go on Confluence and document. For your own purpose, as a Scrum Master, we have to shield the team. And if anything happens, they will come to us. So that's why you have to have those conversations. And it's very important when you go to interview, you explain it that way. Sometimes as much as I love STAR approach, it depends on the approach. That's why they say people that actually have been working, like when you've been working for a while and you start attending interview, it is so difficult. It's not because you don't know, right? Most of you here too is the same. It's just because your mindset is already so structured by the way how you work for all these years. And now you have to change your mindset to impressing an interviewer. And that's why they like when you follow these techniques, all these different approach, all this research and studies that have been done to help you to gain those skills so you can be able to speak the language these interviewers want. And so far I've seen people that come to this program, people that have more challenge, and people that have stayed in one job for like 5, 7 years, 10 years. and now you want to change career, you want to go back, and you have to relearn how to talk to interviewer. Basically, how to impress people, because that's what we do in interview, right? Like, oh, pick me, I'm better. I want to impress you. All right, so I think we did a very detailed answer on that question, and you all will have at least an idea on that. So now, so I saw this question. This is really nice question. So it say, how do you deal with a PO who assign user story and tags to individual team members? Oh my God, this is very common. It's crazy. How do people like, oh, does PO still do this? Yes, I've experienced this where I will see a PO basically influence the team without maybe not even assigning the tags to them. Or they'll be like, oh, you, John, you can do this work, right? I think we should give that work to John. Micromanaging. Yes, you're right, Michael. Ngozi anti-pattern, definitely. And you see, sometimes when people say, oh, PO assigning tasks, they're not basically manually going to Jira or Azure DevOps and just assigning tasks. Based on my experience, what I've seen is they basically influence them in a way how they automatically in their head already assign stuff to them. And they're like, oh, if everyone is asking, now let's talk about story 23. This is the story, this is the acceptance criteria, and now what you all think. Everyone starts to estimate. They're like, oh, I think you, John, you can take this task because this looks like something you've done 2 months ago. What if John have done the work 2 months ago and John doesn't want to do it again this time around? So that's the kind of thing you should watch out for as a Scrum Master. You know, I've seen it a lot. You know, I've seen it with assigning tasks and I've seen it with estimation. So why will they ask you this in an interview and you're a Scrum Master? Why will the interviewer, you go to an interview and they'll ask you, how would you deal with, that's not a good word to say, how would you deal? Then hopefully they will ask you how would you deal with a PO. That's dealing with someone, that's a bad word, I would say. Whoever wrote that question, you guys are Wahala people. Saying that, how would you deal with the PO? You don't deal with the PO. That's like taking me back to Africa when my teacher would say, Aisha, I will deal with you. You are very stubborn girl. I will deal with you. You don't want to do that too at work. Saying that, how would you deal with the PO? No. It's basically, how would you address? By flogging, I know, right? Like, flogging them. That you can use that. So instead you will say, hopefully they will ask you, even if they ask you how would you deal with, you have to change it, right? How would you address or how would you coach a PO that will constantly assign tasks to individual or team members in your team? So why would they ask you this question in an interview? Why would a interviewer ask you, a Scrum Master, as an interview? Because this is actually deeper than you all think. Why would they ask you this? It's funny, I was once asked this actually in an interview though. Even though it's been a while, I didn't go to an interview.
Yeah, I guess because the PO is not allowing the developers to be self-organized.
Think about you. So I know I tell you guys this a lot, right? When you are asked the interview question and you are attending your interview, put yourself in that scenario. I know we always want to talk about team. We're helping a team, we're solving a team. Focusing on the PO, turn your mindset around and think about you. Because why is that? They're trying to hire you, not the team, not the PO. So what would the Scrum Master, and in that case, I'm going to word it as, what is that valuable to a Scrum Master? When you're asked if you observe an anti-pattern of a PO assigning tasks to team members, why would they ask you this in an interview? What are they trying to get out of you as a Scrum Master? To see your coaching skill. Yes, that's another thing. Your coaching skill, your mindset, right? Your mindset in Agile. How well you truly know what you say you know over what your resume said. Because if you don't know that, the PO works with stakeholders a lot. So if the PO assigns tasks and that, some people are like, then that's fine because why? The PO works with stakeholders. No, that's an Agile anti-pattern. So if they ask you this in an interview, why would they ask you that? Coaching, your mindset, and also what? Seeing your confidence or your experience in coaching product owners. Because sometimes product owners, they have a very strong voice in the team. And if you're a scrum master, you don't know how to professionally coach a product owner, you may have a lot of difficulties bringing the whole team to success. Because that product owner will always challenge you. And if they can see how you reason and how you can answer this question on when a product owner is doing some anti-patterns behavior, then it will help them know that, oh, this Scrum Master is not only knowledgeable, very confident, knows how to work with people, but they are also comfortable to coach a product owner when they are doing some anti-patterns behaviors. Because sometimes not all Scrum Masters will have that gut, right? So that's why they might ask you in this interview. So how would you answer this in an interview? When you are asked, what if the PO say no to a coaching meeting? I know, right? This is very common actually, where a PO will tell you, oh, I am so busy. I have a lot of meetings with stakeholders. I have to go meet this customer. You know, you just, in the beginning, you always have to be patient, right? And remember, trust is earned. You don't just get it. Trust is earned. In the beginning, before they trust you, it might be difficult sometimes, but you always open your own schedule. Tell them, oh, I actually can work with your time. What time or what day or what hour works for you? It's not just what I do. If I once had a PO like that. What I will do too, let's say our sprint, our daily scrum ended quickly, right? And the sprint just started, our daily scrum ended, we didn't have much to talk about in the parking lot. And I'll ask the PO to stay. Oh, so and so, do you mind staying for 10 minutes? Or let's use this parking lot and just use this to discuss something. They will always say yes. Because they'll know that time is already blocked in your calendar anyways for your sprint meetings. And I will use that to my advantage. And always be nice. So how would you coach a PO to stop assigning tasks to people? How would you do that? Saying it nicely and professionally. Anyone would like to answer? You also can put your answer on the chat, by the way. No one would like to take this question? This is actually a very simple interview question. Either you give an example of when you've observed it in the past, if you've experienced similar situation, or you say what you would do in that situation, or what you have done in the past if you've actually done it. So all those things you explain. So how would you answer this?
Let me try.
Yeah, go ahead, answer it.
I'll have a one-on-one meeting with the PO. During the meeting, I'll remind him of our Scrum values. I'll make him to understand that it's a teamwork here, and we are all leaders, and everybody should have the opportunity to choose a task that they are able to do, that they are comfortable in doing it and succeeding in the task. So he shouldn't be assigning tasks to people, and because we are all a team. If one team member loses or not deliver on time, the entire team fail.
So how would you answer this in an interview, right? So sometimes when you go to interview, the way how you will talk when you are practicing or you're talking on your own is very different on the way how you will say it in an interview. So by you telling, oh, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that, if you say that, oh, this is actually an anti-patterns, best practice, I've always educated that For an agile team to be successful, the team have to work collaboratively together, and the team have to be given autonomy to take ownership of their work. And let's say I observe a product owner do it. For people that don't have experience, you will say that. Let's say I observe a product owner. Because some people are like, oh, if I don't have experience, how can I attend interview? Yes, you can attend interview. By the way how you talk will help determine how these people will hold on to what you are saying. You also will give a scenario. If you don't have experience, you can talk from the past, you can talk on the future, but you can also say that, oh, let's say that I actually have a product owner that I observe assigning tasks to them. And I love what you said there, that saying that the first thing I'll do is to connect with them, right? You don't want to correct people too in front of an audience, like, hey, you, why are you doing this? You don't want to do that too, right? What you have to do too is to connect with them on the side and you talk to them. Yeah, oh, by the way, Aisha, I noticed that while we were doing sprint planning or backlog refinement, you were basically assigning tasks to and so person. I think it is best practice for us to let the team to assign tasks to themselves, because that will automatically get them to be accountable and take ownership of their tasks. I've seen this in my experience, or I've seen this where if you basically assign a task to them, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know about this task. So Aisha just gave me the task. And we don't want that scenario. Because if they basically take themselves and assign themselves the tasks, that means they're telling me that they already read the story, they understand the acceptance criteria, they also are willing to want to work together with the team and complete that task. And also know the importance of that task being completed as it overall connects to our sprint goal. So basically, I will coach this PO. And hopefully with that situation, the PO will basically tell me based on their understanding. Sometimes what I've seen this is when the PO, they are not aware of it, because sometimes when they're sharing their screen, they just say that, oh, it's just easier for them, and they see it as like basically helping the team. They won't even think as deep that doing that actually is such of a huge impact on them. So by me telling them, they'll basically will see, oh yeah, for the most part, it's most of the time they don't even know that. But if, let's say, this PO is just saying that they're doing this just to show authoritarian, or telling this team that, oh, I'm your leader, I'm giving you what to work on, then I have to basically do a whole coaching training with this team, like train them on the agile values, do like a whole 6-week session on training them, understanding the basic agile manifesto, knowing how the agile work together. And I have to go back and re-evaluate our working agreements, because that means that the working agreements maybe would also include that team will assign themselves their tasks. Maybe me going back and looking at the working agreements, and we all rediscuss and come back to realign and agree, that will overall help ensure that moving forward we won't do that. Because sometimes the working agreement is something that you're going to keep readjusting as more as you learn about this team. And if you know that you've been coaching this team to not do something at practice, like for example, adding story in the middle of the sprint without communication, and they keep doing that, and that's why you have to schedule a session and go back to your working agreement. Or in retrospective, you bring that up too, so that you guys can use that time to readjust it until everyone will have a conversation and come to a consensus on things you put in that working agreement. So by me doing that, that will hopefully will help correct this anti-pattern that I will observe in this PO, or that I've done in the past. Got it? You guys got it?
Yeah,
It's like everyone already sleeping in here. It's only, what time is it? 1 o'clock? Why are you guys tired on a Saturday afternoon? Definitely, Ungazi. So let's do one last question before we end. So this question, I don't understand this question though. This question is saying, how do you make the stakeholder attend the daily Scrum? Do you want a stakeholder in daily Scrum? Or do you make a mistake? How do you do not want a stakeholder to attend daily Scrum? I really don't understand this question. What do you think about this question? Do you want them to attend the daily Scrum? Is that your intention in writing this question? How do you make the stakeholders attend the daily Scrum?
No, the team members.
Oh, the team members. I was like, stakeholders.
Stakeholders. The team members. Because you might have some team members who are
There you go. So how do you encourage the team members that's not attending the daily Scrum to attend the daily Scrum, basically, right? That's the question you're trying to write.
Yeah.
So what is the key word in this question? Going back to our scenarios, what is the key word in this question?
Attend daily Scrum.
Attend daily Scrum. Very good answer. Very, very good. So why would you go to a Scrum Master interview and they will ask you a question on, or how would you encourage, or how would you get a team member that's been skipping daily Scrum to get them to attend the daily Scrum as a Scrum Master?
So you may have a scenario where you have the experienced developers who think that daily Scrum is just waste of time.
Yeah.
Their time.
Very good answer. So basically, they might have some people in the team that they don't see value in attending daily Scrum, right? And number two, maybe they are being forced to even do agile, like those teams to begin with. And then this employer, they want a Scrum Master that can also see that the daily Scrum is important. The transparency, yeah? Seeing that the daily Scrum is also important. Because if you have a Scrum Master that's saying that, daily Scrum, just come whenever you want. It's not time boxed. Yes, most of the time, sometimes how you can see a team members can be so demotivated to attend is we, the Scrum Masters, we are not following the time box. Because if we don't follow the time box, that will just get people to be so demotivated. And remember, most of the time we do daily Scrum in the morning. If you say that the meeting will be for 15 minutes and you hold this team for 1 hour, people will not want to attend. But if you say you schedule it for 30 minutes, and when you're getting close to that time, if you see they still need some time, you still should call out the time box. Like, oh, by the way, we are almost 2 minutes away from our time box. But if you do not have anything, you can drop. If you still would like to stay to continue this conversation, you can stay. If you constantly do this, people will respect that. Oh, I'm going to come to Aisha Daily Scrum because Aisha respects the time box. But sometimes if you see the time box go on and on and on and on, and you don't come in to call this out and do that, that will lead to people not attending. That are some reasons why. But this interviewer asking you this in an interview, why are they asking you this in an interview? They want to see the type of Scrum Master you are, right? If you hold true to your time box, if you also agree in meeting daily, because sometimes I have some Scrum Masters, they're like, oh, we don't have to meet daily, yeah? And also your experience dealing with team that will refuse to attend. What are some technique that's under your sleeve you can bring into our company so you can also motivate our team members? So those are all these different possible scenarios why you might be asked this in an interview, right? So how would you answer this in an interview? Because you can answer this in multiple ways. You can either answer this in a scenario when you've experienced this, speaking from the past, right? Or speaking in the current, which is the future, like the current state, your current position, or speaking from the past experience, or if you don't have experience, saying that, oh, if I'm faced with this situation, or if I'm faced with this, this is how I will handle it. And then you give a detailed explanation. So not because you don't have experience, you can basically detail your critical thinking and your assumption how you will answer this interview. So go ahead. How would you answer this in an interview? Don't just list what's written in the book. Creating bonding activities that build trust. Eventually, you want to get them there. But before that, there are a lot of things you can do as a Scrum Master, because creating team building activities and getting them to trust you, especially when you are new coming in, it takes time. We all know that. Trust takes time. It's not something that just happens overnight. But there's some things you can do as a Scrum Master to encourage these people to attend daily Scrum. Which is what? There's a lot of things we can do. Which is what? What would you do in this case if you have a team members that do not attend daily Scrum? What are some things you can do as a Scrum Master? We can even throw in words. Yeah, we don't have to give a scenario answer or something.
So the first thing is you have to empathize. You have to see
empathize. Yes. Empathize with the team, right? Like, oh, I understand. Like it depends. So especially if the team are new to agile, like, oh, I understand. Because sometimes remember, some of those teams, they don't have no such thing as daily meeting. Imagine that when you, like your whole life you've been working in the company, or for 5-6 years, you've never meet daily every single day. You just meet once a week or twice a week. And now you have all this meeting schedule and you're asking them to attend daily Scrum, space planning, backlog environment, retro, team building exercise, all of these things. That can be overwhelming sometimes for new people, new team. So the first thing I've always done when I join a company, to be honest, I do this, and this have helped me gain a lot of positive, a lot of trust within team, is I will always address each scheduled meeting in the box. So when I'm sent an invite, I will always ask that, oh, I see that we have daily Scrum meeting 5 days a week at 10 a.m. So how is this time? How have this time been for you all? Is 10 a.m. still a good time for us to have our daily Scrum meetings? What, any objection? Any disagreements? Before even me going to working agreement, all the current time have been sent. Because why is that? Because later on, I'm going to take ownership of all the meetings. And before I schedule my own meeting to ensure that I will get a lot of acceptance, people accepting my meeting invites, I have to already first have discussed this meeting invites with the team. And by me discussing this meeting invites with the team, that already get them to see that, oh, she's not an authoritarian leader. She truly is such someone that have that mindset of working together within the team. Basically, we bring question to the team and you have a conversation and discussion and voting. I do a lot of voting. And based on that, we'll now determine all of our Scrum events time. So by you just doing that, that can even help resolve some people skipping the meeting. Because why is that? You make sure you hear and you listen from each one of them before you schedule the meeting, right? And through that, they'll bring up a lot of discussion too. You're going to get to know them. You're going to see people that like that time, people that don't like that time. You're going to vote. And let's say that you have a half and half. Usually when I have half and half, I will switch it after 3 months to the other team that like it. So that people can learn to compromise, learn to work with people. So by you doing that, and you can even go to interview saying that, addressing the time of the meeting, discussing some of the challenges why some people can't attend some meetings. Some people too, they have to drop their kids in the morning. Or maybe they work with offshore team, they have other teams they are part of, other projects they are part of. I know in reality, sometimes some team members, they're involved with multiple other different things on the side. And you also have to ensure that you're also accommodating everyone. So by you coming in already and asking questions, getting them to know the time and the availability, that can help. But let's just say now we have this particular person, it's done nothing about the time. They just do not like to attend the Scrum meeting. What would you do as a Scrum Master? What would you do?
Maybe I'll approach the team member and ask them why they are not really attending,
Yes.
and then it's done.
One-to-one.
And maybe coach them on the importance of attending these meetings,
Yeah.
the stand-up meeting. Yes, and just letting them know the importance of it and how them not attending can affect
The
progress
overall
of
delivery of the project. Yeah. Very good answer. Very, very good answer. You know, so basically if you have that one person, after you already adjusted the time, you look at your working agreement, you did all of it, and that one person will still skip it. And that's where you have to connect with that one person on the side. And you can go to the meeting and start calling that person out. Hey, you, why are you always missing meetings? You can do that too, right? You have to call them on the side and then you talk to them. Like, oh, by the way, is everything okay with you? I've observed, I've noticed that you basically you don't attend daily Scrum regularly. Is there anything that's going on that can help me, or what can I do to better support you so that you can able to attend these meetings? You always ask powerful question, open-ended question, right? And by you asking this, it will come from concern over attack, right? And then they will automatically open up to you. So sometimes some people it's just difficult, they can't, right? They're like, oh, maybe I can try 3 times a week, but it's difficult for me to attend 5 times a week because I'm involved in other projects, or I have a sick mother at home. I have someone that once told me that they have a sick father at home. They have to wake up that time and take care of their father. I was like, oh yeah, definitely, for sure. And it's just one person, not because of one person, the time works for everybody else. I can just cancel it and change it just for that one person. But instead, I'll bring it up to the team. Oh, can we change the time? Everyone okay? People are like, oh no, we still want this. I'm like, okay. So what days can you attend? They start to compromise, right? Okay, what days can you attend? So what are some things you can do then since you're not attending? All right, I'm going to sync up with this person. I'm going to sync up with that person. I'm going to comment on my stories ahead of time. I'm going to reach out to them. Then they're going to have to give me a list of things they're going to have to do to compensate not attending, right? And people, it's a temporary thing too. It's not like a forever thing. And if they follow through with all of those, then and everyone too is aligned, everyone agree, then that might work for some one person. But at all time, communication, communication, communication. Very, very important. When you communicate.
Coach, have you ever had a scenario where, okay, after doing all that and that person still doesn't attend the meeting, what do you do next?
Escalate. Yes, I have that. I've had that. I had that. And let me tell you one secret, right? That sometimes happens with the most experienced developer in the team. People that have been in the company for like 20 years. They're like, oh, I've been here, I've been working all this way, I've never attended this meeting. Who are you to tell me to attend this meeting? And sometimes too, they will be grumbling too about it. It's not that you're just going to go report them, right? You already tried all of these things, you already added everything. You also, they will be the one even telling on themselves, telling their managers that they don't want to attend. They will literally say it too, you know. But when it comes to delivery, they will be the ones to doing their work on time. If that's the case, that's something I'm going to continue coaching them though. I won't stop. I won't give up, not because that they said they won't attend, I'll just give up and fold my hands. I still will follow through with them because I'm stubborn like that. I will still like, oh, hey, are you okay? I didn't see you. Are you okay? Oh, let's connect for 5 minutes. I always say, let's connect for 2 minutes. We end up talking for 10 minutes. I'll be sharing my screen. Basically doing my own one-to-one on the side with them.
Okay, what about the impact of the most experienced developer not attending, but you explaining the impact that he has on the team to help the junior developers who need help, because we work as a team?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
If that's the case too, that's something for sure. If you coach them, you talk to them, and they agree, that's something you have to escalate because of the impacts to the business. Because you don't want something that, because you're trying to be a good scrum master, be a servant leader, and jeopardize the whole business too. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So if that's the case,
Working as a team.
yeah, that's something that you for sure have to escalate, and for sure, usually the managers too will add it into their performance evaluation. Like, oh, we will have Aisha attend daily Scrum at least 4 times a week. Like, do like baby steps with them. And then they say that's going to be part of their evaluation. Usually, they will, most of the time, they will oblige and they will attend. But for the most part, you won't get to that point though. After you do like your coaching, I'll go back to doing my trainings and everything, and one-to-ones on the side. Usually they will always come back and attend, because the people will be sending them message. People will be sending them a lot of messages that, oh, so and so, and they just get so annoyed by all these messages. They're like, oh, I'm like, oh, by the way, do you know that if you attend these meetings, all this can be addressed in one place, only for 15 minutes. It's like a lot of tactical things you have to play to get people to do what you want without you forcing, being so rude or being so mean, and being patient is the key. Patience. Oh, I don't know how to stress that. Patience is very, very important when you work with teams, especially when you have a team that's resisting to change and all of that. Patience, extremely patient, is very, very important. And you, the Scrum Master, you will play a major role at that. If you're not patient, you're gonna have a difficulty in this job. So patience is very important. And always thinking about other people, helping others before yourself. So your mindset always have to be that way. If you know you're that person that you can put other people before yourself, don't even try to work in the tech space, because you always will work within a team. And as a Scrum Master, is even more expected, because your team's success become your own success. Them winning is now seen as you winning, you know. And that mindset starts now, you know. Very, very important. All right. Thank you all for joining this class. I know we are already over time. We're already 2 minutes over time. It's been such a very productive class. And thank you all for joining, people that are online. If you've not yet subscribed to our channel, subscribe to AishaTech. And we're going to see you back again next week, Saturday at 12 o'clock noon. I'm going to be on live again next week, Saturday at 12 o'clock noon. And thank you all. If anyone have anything, you can stay. But if not, you can drop. Thank you all for being flexible this Ramadan, having class on a Saturday. I really, really appreciate it. See you all again. Thank you, my online people that came in and watched and participated.